দর্শক শুভেচ্ছা সবাইকে স্বাগত আজকের চলতে চলতে অনুষ্ঠানে আপনার সঙ্গে থাকছেন মাহফুজ মিশা। আজকে আমার অতিথি ঢাকায় তুরস্কের রাষ্ট্রদূত অ্যাম্বাসেডর মুস্তাফা ওসমান তুরান। অ্যাম্বাসেডর তুরান, মোস্ট ওয়েলকাম টু আওয়ার শো। হাউ আর ইউ?
Thank you. Welcome to our embassy.
Thank you. Bangladesh and Turosko is a long-lasting friendship. It's a history of hundreds of years. But very recently it has been discussed in the table, especially after your joining here as the mission ship. Can you please share the background of this? Why this relation is so much discussed nowadays?
Because both countries are economically and politically growing in their influence, sphere of influence. Turkey has become one of the global players in the world, and Bangladesh also has changed a lot in the last 10-15 years. It's not just my arrival, this was an accumulation of certain developments in both countries with strong leadership on both sides. I think now both of our countries have seen the benefits of strong partnership more than ever.
So this is a political partnership as well as this is economic partnership, right?
Exactly.
So how do you evaluate the 50 years of our relationship? Where do we stand right now?
Right now, I think we are at the peak of our relationship because in the past we were close, but there were not many tangible projects. There was not enough trade. There was not enough investment on both sides. There was not enough people-to-people contacts. Now, on all these fronts, we are making headways into a much more intense cooperation.
So basically, what are the priority areas of our relationship right now?
For both of our countries, it's really important that that the foundation of our relations are based on mutual benefit, mutual interest. So our mutual interests lie in making more trade, balanced trade. And I'm very pleased to say that in the last 2 years, our trade has increased from $850 million to today $1.1 billion. So we are moving towards our target of $2 billion. This is a very concrete, tangible progress. Also, we see a lot of Turkish companies practically investing in Bangladesh. For example, Singer Bangladesh has now a big majority share Turkish investor. Singer Bangladesh has been, the majority shares have been bought by a Turkish company called Arçelik, and they are making a very good business in Bangladesh because the middle class in Bangladesh is increasing, its purchasing power is getting higher and stronger. So a lot of people are buying new household appliances, electronics, so their market share is increasing. So that's one example. We also have an energy company, an LPG company who has invested in Chittagong $150 million. It's a huge investment. So these are all very promising indicators of Turkish businesses becoming more and more interested and confident in Bangladesh.
Basic area of business between two countries, especially export-import business. What are the major products you want to get from Bangladesh?
We are importing a lot of jute from Bangladesh. $300 million worth of jute annually because our carpet industry uses jute at the back of our carpets. So it's a huge amount. We sell a lot of cotton from Turkey, but also machinery and chemicals for the RMG industry, the factories in Bangladesh. But these were traditional items of our trade. We would like to diversify this trade. For example, recently we have held a meeting, an online meeting between our Foreign Economic Relations Board and Turkey-Bangladesh Business Council met with their counterpart from FBCCI and BIDA for ICT cooperation. Because both in Bangladesh and in Turkey, startups, technology-based companies are getting stronger, and we are trying to match make between our two countries' IT companies. This is just an example, but there are a lot of other opportunities that are being identified every day. One of them is, for example, food processing, shipbuilding, light engineering. Those are the main areas where we would like to see more progress in the coming years.
Ambassador, some people said tourism can be a good element between our trade relationship. So is there any possibility of exchanging the visitors and tourists?
Yes, tourism is booming between Turkey and Bangladesh. This year, I see that Turkey has become one of the most popular tourist destinations from Bangladesh to Turkey. Mainly Turkish dramas shown on Bangladeshi television have affected a lot of people's minds. They are curious about, as you said, our historical sites, our mosques, our traditions, Istanbul, and our food as well. So a lot of tourists are going to Turkey from Bangladesh, and I'm hoping that some tourism will also start from Turkey to Bangladesh. And for that we are working with my Bangladeshi counterparts.
Yeah. You are telling about investment as well as trade. Do you find any challenge still here in Bangladesh?
Right now, what I hear from our investors is more about customs-related issues. Because for them to, when they make an investment, it's really important to produce quickly and at a reasonable price. So the customs procedures cause some delays, and also the levels of some of the items they need for production are applied with high tariffs. So they need to see some facilitation of customs procedures. This is one of the issues I hear
from
about investment issues. And also banking and financial services, money transfers and opening bank accounts, and some of the financial transactions could be facilitated much faster. I think we hope that one Turkish bank could open a branch in Bangladesh, so that would facilitate our financial transactions.
Government is making 100 of special economic zone to attract the foreign direct investors, and already Japan, Korea, China and some other countries is taking that place and taking that advantage. Is there any plan for the Turkish investors to taking a special economic zone where they can getting insurity, assurance of electricity, power and everything?
Yes, I know that some countries are building their own economic zones, especially those countries who have a high number of investors in Bangladesh. For the moment, the number of our investors are not that high. So current investors from Turkey are joining other economic zones, which are not Turkish economic zones. But once we have a higher number of companies coming to Bangladesh, then we can talk about a Turkish special economic zone. Yes.
Dedicated economic zone. Okay, excellent. Then you said about the diversification of our trade and business, and you said about software and IT industry and other things. What could be other areas? Like food could be other areas. You have said about agriculture
Yes.
and food processing.
Yes.
Bangladesh have many kind of fruits, many kind of agriculture products. Is there any planning regarding these issues?
Yes, agriculture and food has become a strategic issue, especially after the war in Ukraine. As you know, the food supplies, food security have become political and strategic issues. It's remarkable that Bangladesh can feed it's more than 165 million people and is able to export food, especially in the area of seafood and fisheries and related items. I think what would create an added value for Bangladesh would be to invest in food processing, because there are really good agricultural products like mango, for example, one of the best in the world. But if they are processed, through high-tech factories, they can be sold at a much higher price in the international market. So I think one area where Turkish investors would be interested to look into those areas where the agricultural products can be processed in Bangladesh. We are recommending our investors to look into this sector.
Okay, the position of your country is very strategic. You are with Europe as well as you are with Asia, and you know what's going on in the world, especially I am saying about Russia and Ukraine war, and it's make several kinds of problem all over the world. So how Turkey is suffering from this problem, and how do you evaluate the situation as well as the stand of Bangladesh government in this issue?
Turkey is the neighbor of both Ukraine and Russia. There is just Black Sea between us. So we have sea borders. And we have been making a lot of trade, and we had very good relations with both countries. We still maintain those good relations with both sides, both with Russia and with Ukraine. We have actually, since the beginning of the war, we defend and protect, we support the territorial integrity of Ukraine. So we condemned the Russian intervention and attack, and we called it a war. Not just a simple aggression. We called it a war, and we also closed the straits. The Bosphorus and Dardanelles for war ships. We have the sovereign right to close our straits during the times of war. Since this is a war, we have exercised our sovereign duty to close them for the warships. But on the other hand, we didn't apply sanctions on Russia to be able to mediate between the two sides. And because of this constructive role we have taken, our president and our foreign minister have become negotiators, the mediators between the two sides, and we were able to bring them to Turkey for discussion, for negotiation. Unfortunately, so far, those negotiations have not yielded any positive result, but we are hopeful that they will continue to talk and find a peaceful settlement to their differences.
So you are hopeful about the next level of dialogue between Russia and Ukraine with the initiative of Turkey. And there is a common ideas between Bangladesh people going that the political relation with the Bangladesh present government, I mean the ruling party Awami League, is not so good with Turkish government. That is the public perception. Can you please explain this? But before that, I have to take a break, and I will come back to you with this question. দর্শক, একটা ছোট্ট বিরতি নিচ্ছে, আমরা কথা বলবো অ্যাম্বাসেডর মোস্তফা ওসমান তুরানের সঙ্গে। আমাদের সঙ্গে থাকবেন নিশ্চয়ই, ফিরছে একটু পরে। দর্শক, স্বাগত আরেকবার। আমরা কথা বলছি ঢাকায় তুরস্কের রাষ্ট্রদূত অ্যাম্বাসেডর মোস্তফা ওসমান তুরানের সঙ্গে। অ্যাম্বাসেডর তুরান, my question was about the political relationship with Bangladesh, especially the current government. Some people do believe that Turkey have not a good relation with Awami League. How do you explain?
No, that's totally incorrect, because since I have come here, I've witnessed myself in person how warm the relations between our governments are. For example, Foreign Minister Momen visited Turkey 3 times in the last two years. So my minister came here once, and he's coming again in July for the D8 ministerial meeting. And actually, we will also inaugurate a park named after Kemal Atatürk on the Kemal Atatürk Avenue.
Bonani.
Yes, and we have done the same in Turkey. We have last December, the last time Foreign Minister Momen was in Turkey, we inaugurated the bust of Bangabundu in Ankara, and also a park named after him. So these are some indications of our good relations, but also Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has invited our president to visit Bangladesh this year. So if the relations were not good why would she invite our president to come and visit Bangladesh
Basically,
at the highest level?
Basically, there was a difference of opinion during the War Crime Tribunal, as I can recall, and you have some observation regarding that tribunal, and Turkish government convey this to Bangladeshi government. That creates some misunderstanding. Is it solved?
Oh, it's solved long time ago, back in 2016. You know, when there was a military coup attempt in Turkey, Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina was the first leader to send a solidarity message to our president. So since then, the misunderstandings or whatever people call have been long past between our very brotherly countries. You know, our Prime Minister at the time, Binali Yildirim, visited Bangladesh in 2017. Our First Lady was here for Rohingya crisis. So, as I said, ministerial exchanges. So, I don't see any
complication,
any issue, any problem at the moment between our.
So, one phone call from Sheikh Hasina made the relation easier.
It was a written message from Honorable Prime Minister to our President, which came at a very delicate time when our President was attempted to be assassinated in Turkey by coup plotters. So, you know, during those very delicate, significant historical moments, one message can be very powerful.
Any I mean, extra love or any weakness for the Islamist party, right-wing party here in Bangladesh, especially Jamaat Islami? Some people thought that Turkey and other Muslim countries have blind check for the Islamist parties.
No. These you know, we for us, I have said it also in the past when I invited, you know, Diplomatic Correspondents Association. You were there. Same questions were asked to me. You know, Turkey has a very good relations between the two states, the two governments, the two nations. So we don't, you know, our relations do not depend on our, you know, relations with any political party. We keep equal distance with any political party. I recently visited the BNP headquarters. We keep dialogue. For as long as those political parties are legal
here in Bangladesh,
legal and they carry out activities for the benefit of Bangladesh, we see that they are legitimate and they represent Bangladesh. For as long as they are not banned in Bangladesh, for us, each political party has a value. So, as a diplomat, we are obliged to talk to different actors in political scene. So, I don't see any problem. But as I said, since I came, I never had any contact with Jamaat Islami as a political party. I just recently visited the BNP headquarters, and I have daily regular contacts with Awami League since I came for the last 2 years.
So what was the major issues with the BNP leaders? Definitely from BNP, the election, the human rights, the upcoming election situation, the neutrality of election commission, that should be discussed, and BNP leaders also claimed so. What was your stand regarding these issues?
No, I mean, those questions need to be answered by BNP leaders. I'm not in a position to speak on their behalf. My intention to visit them was to listen to what they have to say as one of the political parties in Bangladesh, and other ambassadors are doing the same. So it's important that we get a perspective from different actors in the political scene because they, after all, they represent a certain segment of the society and they have their own opinions, which we don't have to agree. We listen and try to understand.
Would you have any stand regarding the upcoming election? Some Western diplomats and some Western friends, as they said, they want free, fair, credible and participatory election. Your stand is same, or you have the different stand?
No, I think these are internal matters of Bangladesh. You know, organizing elections, making sure that they are free and fair. These are responsibilities of the government of Bangladesh, and the people of Bangladesh will hold the government accountable if they don't see these principles are not met. It's not for us diplomats to intervene into the internal domestic affairs of another country. Sometimes similar things happen in Turkey and we don't like it. So other countries may have their own opinions, but I think it's their opinions. Turkey is very sensitive about these issues. We don't lecture anyone about democracy. We observe the situation, obviously, because we want to know, you know, how Bangladesh is progressing to be able to develop our bilateral relations.
Okay. Now we are talking about Russia-Ukraine war, and you took some, Turkey took some initiative to mediate it, and it's not working so yet. And you know, UN is also working, and very recently Ukraine president said there need a diplomatic solution. Several times the solution was not come from in the area of diplomatic areas, but they were fighting. So are you really hopeful?
This is a very complicated problem in our neighborhood, and now it's become a global problem, global crisis, because it's causing hunger in different parts of the world. It has influenced the economy of all the countries in the world, including Bangladesh. It is causing additional increase in the inflation in many countries. So it's causing a global problem. Therefore, it's a very complicated problem. Both sides have their positions. We, as I said, support the territorial integrity of Ukraine. We have also condemned the annexation of Crimea, you know, earlier in 2014. So we also spoke out against the invasion of Ukraine. But on the other side, Russians have their own arguments, which is not shared by many countries around the world. So it's a very complicated problem, and all we can do is to provide good offices, as we call it in diplomacy, of our country to mediate between the two sides, to try to convince them that peace, there's no one losing if they have a peace agreement. Therefore, our president is personally involved in talking to both President Putin and President Zelensky. So we will continue our efforts, but of course we are hopeful, but we know at the same time that this is a very difficult, complicated problem.
Ambassador, I am going to take a break again, but the next part I would like to discuss about the defense cooperation. You have said several times with the press that you would like to increase the defense cooperation between Bangladesh and Turkey, as well as you would like to sell some defense equipments. So my question is, why Bangladesh will take this equipment from you instead of Westerns like America or Germany or other countries? I would like to hear this explanation from you. Before that, I have to take a break. দর্শক আবারও ছোট্ট একটা বিরতি নিচ্ছি, আমরা ফিরছি একটু পরেই। আমরা কথা বলবো তুরস্কের রাষ্ট্রদূতের সঙ্গে, আমাদের সঙ্গে থাকছেন নিশ্চয়ই। দর্শক স্বাগত আরেকবার, আমরা কথা বলছি ঢাকায় তুরস্কের রাষ্ট্রদূত অ্যাম্বাসেডর মোস্তফা ওসমান তুরানের সঙ্গে। অ্যাম্বাসেডর তুরান, I want to know about defense cooperation between two countries. Is it really increasing day by day?
Yes, indeed. It's one of our strongest aspects of our partnership. In the last couple of years, actually it started with, you know, Bangladesh is very good at peacekeeping. So you have a lot of, you know, army officers, soldiers operating in other countries in conflict regions. So the first defense cooperation started when we supplied armored personnel carriers, APCs. So that was the beginning of our cooperation. Then we also supplied some multi-launcher rockets to the army. So that was the biggest cooperation we had. And when I attended the Victory Day parade, I saw the rockets passing by, which was quite a proud moment for me.
For you,
to see in Bangladesh. So our defense industry has made big progress in the last 2 decades. You know, we were not able to produce our own weapons in the past. We were always buying from other countries. But sometimes they put some political conditions. They still do, actually. For example, we were supposed to buy F-35 fighter jets, but because of some political dispute with our ally United States, that project was suspended for political reasons. So this is just an example. So because of these political conditions that were attached to the defense purchases that we were making, we developed our own industry, not to be relying upon other countries. Therefore, because we are a member of NATO, we produce with NATO standards, in Turkey, and we have a good manufacturing base. Our engineers are very talented, so they are now able to produce any weapon, high-tech weapon. And as I said, we don't attach any political condition to our defense cooperation with any country.
Why Bangladesh will buy from Turkey instead of USA or Germany, even France or some other countries, even China?
No, because we are producing at the same level of quality, because we are a NATO country and we have to comply with the NATO standards. But our prices are more reasonable than our competitors. We also don't attach any political condition to our defense cooperation. Therefore, we are a very reliable partner for many countries. For example, drones have been very popular in recent years and have been sold to more than 20 countries now. And they are making a big difference at the battlefield.
Okay, now then if Bangladesh want to buy anything from Turkey, then who will take care of these parts maintenance? Basically, for maintenance, some foreign companies came here and they took the control over that weapons.
No, when we sell a weapon, we take care of the maintenance and training also.
Okay.
You know, after sale.
That is included in the
That's included.
purchase
Exactly.
contract.
So we train the personnel who are going to use the the military hardware.
Yeah.
They go to Turkey. Our experts come here, so they make sure that it's well trained, the staff who is going to use it. That's part of the deal. And also, if there's any problem after sale, we always take care of it. As a part of the agreement we signed for this kind of very sensitive cooperation.
Yeah. So, is there any big deal going to be signed soon? Because several times we have seen our senior army officials, including the chief of the army staff, visited Turkey.
Yes, Chief of the Air Force was just recently in Turkey. Of course, there are projects which are under consideration by the government of Bangladesh and the armed forces, air forces or the Navy. As you know, Bangladesh has decided to modernize its armed forces and Navy and air forces. So Turkey has emerged as one of the reliable suppliers. There are projects under discussion, and some agreements can be signed. But I am not in a position to disclose them at this moment.
Okay. Excellency, how do you see the Bangladesh relationship with the Islamic countries? Being a OIC member, we have very good relation with Saudi Arabia as well as Iran as well as Turkey. And you three are big Muslim countries who want to be the Muslim leaders, leader of the Muslim nation in the world. So is there any conflict between Bangladesh-Saudi relationship with Turkey?
We believe that the Muslim world should really act in solidarity and in cooperation. So we don't claim any leadership role from our side, We believe that cooperation is the best way to lead, like a collective leadership. And Bangladesh is emerging as a strong country in the Muslim world, predominantly Muslim country like Turkey. So I think our relations in the OIC context is also improving. We see that Bangladesh is taking initiatives in that context. OIC is supporting Bangladesh, particularly in the Rohingya issue. There is an international court case at the International Court of Justice Gambia brought on behalf of the OIC countries, and we are, for example, contributing financially to support the legal team that is pursuing this case, at the International Court of Justice.
So how do you evaluate the role of OIC? Is it a very active organization? And sometimes people criticized OIC as OIC because they really don't have anything to do, especially when Bangladesh is suffering from Rohingya crisis. Even when they were in Myanmar, United Nations called it ethnic cleansing, but OIC was basically have done nothing.
Well, we can't say it hasn't done anything. For example, this court case is an important, support to the case of Bangladesh, because, it's only under pressure the government of Myanmar can repatriate Rohingyas back to their own country. And through this legal proceedings, I guess OIC can play an important role to keep this issue on the agenda, both politically but also legally speaking. Therefore, I wouldn't agree if someone said OIC is useless. I believe it's an important platform of Muslim countries.
But it needs some improvement, definitely.
Well, there is always a room for improvement. I mean, it goes, along the same lines. If you look at the European Union or NATO, there are always disagreements, always divisions within international organizations. Sometimes we have to agree to disagree, but that does not make those organizations completely useless.
How can you stand beside Bangladesh regarding Rohingya crisis, because it's a very densely populated country, and more than 1 million, or now it's going to be 1.5 million, is a huge pressure for Bangladesh economy. So several times Bangladesh proposed for third country resettlement of these Rohingya Muslims, as well as Bangladesh try it bilaterally as well as multilaterally with China, UNA and other things, but it's not solved yet, and there is no possibility of earliest solution of this crisis. Your foreign minister, your prime minister, your first lady visited them. Is there any possibility of third country resettlement?
I don't think third country resettlement is on the agenda as of today, unless there are very specific cases, very few cases, and that's in the hands of the UNHCR for that kind of settlement. I don't see any
possibility.
Big numbers of people being resettled from Bangladesh to another country. But that doesn't mean that international community is not supporting Bangladesh. It is supporting Bangladesh, and we, as part of the international community, are very present and visible in Cox's Bazar. We have a field hospital which treats more than 1,500 patients every day. Both Rohingya and host community members. Free of charge, they are provided medicine and all other medical facilities.
Excellency, these are humanitarian assistance, but it's a political problem, and the problem lies in the Myanmar. So basically the solution is keep political pressure on Myanmar. So in that case, how can you help?
We keep this issue on the agenda of the international community, both at the UN, but also at the OIC and other possibilities of international pressure on Myanmar. We always act in solidarity with Bangladesh. We support their political position. So that's what we can do right now. And as I said, we are also supporting the legal case against Myanmar.
Excellency, my last question is about the President Erdogan's Bangladesh visit. You have said that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina invited him in this year. Is there any possibility during your tenure or this year, as COVID situation is being normalized day by day?
Yes, indeed. Now that COVID situation has been normalized, I hope that the possibility of this visit will be much stronger. Our president usually visits, countries as a group. When he goes to a faraway distance,
2, 3, 4 countries.
2, 3 countries together. So he may do the same in this part of the world. And I'm hopeful, and I believe that he would pay a visit to Bangladesh now that the COVID situation is much better. Because, as I said, Bangladesh is emerging as a significant partner in this part of the world for Turkey. We have a new policy for the last 2 years. We call it Asia and New policy, to revive our relations with Asian countries. And Bangladesh plays and occupies a very significant role in South Asia for Turkey as a country which is very close to us. So I know that our president recognizes the significance of Bangladesh, and I'm hopeful that he will visit Bangladesh
very soon.
Inshallah during my term.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you for your valuable time.
Thank you.
দর্শক, আমরা কথা বলছিলাম ঢাকায় তুরস্কের রাষ্ট্রদূত অ্যাম্বাসেডর মোস্তফা ওসমান তুরানের সঙ্গে। তিনি যেমনটি বলছিলেন, বাংলাদেশের রাজনীতি সহ অভ্যন্তরীণ কোনো বিষয়ে তারা হস্তক্ষেপ করতে চান না। আবার পাশাপাশি রোহিঙ্গা সংকট নিরসনে অভ্যন্তরীণ সহযোগিতার পাশাপাশি মানবিক সহায়তার পাশাপাশি মিয়ানমারের উপরে কীভাবে আরও বেশি চাপ প্রয়োগ করা যায় সেই চেষ্টাটিও তুরস্ক সরকার করবে, এবং তার আশা তার এই মেয়াদকালেই তুরস্কের প্রেসিডেন্ট এরদোগানের বাংলাদেশ সফর হতে পারে। আমরাও সেই প্রত্যাশা শেষ করছি। ভালো থাকবেন সবাই। অনেক ধন্যবাদ সঙ্গে থাকার জন্য।